All right, Dixie joins us again for another district breakdown. We are talking 7-6A. They call this, for the rest of the teams that remain in, it's addition by subtraction because they subtracted Highland Park, which opens up not only a district championship, a district title, although they shared it last year, but it opens up a playoff spot. And the rest of the teams remain the same. So we got the Richardson ISD, the Irving ISD, and Dallas Jesuit. Who now is the front runner? Because Lake Highlands, they got hit with some graduation, so I don't even know if they're the front runner. Who do you got as the front runner here?
Case of the graduations war. There's nothing like it. Every year we lose players, but I think Lake Highlands got hit hard. We got a case of the Highland Parks being extracted to 5A. So this is wide open. I think more than ever, I can look at this district and I can see five teams, if things go right, could legitimately win a district title. Because last year, things go right, things go wrong. And when I look at a healthy team, I look at Richardson Berkner. Richardson Berkner showed last year when they were fully healthy against Lake Highlands, they beat them by 3 touchdowns. And then Lake Highlands beat Highland Park beat Berkner, and the Jesuits involved in all of this, and it was just complete chaos. But I think if healthy, Berkner is the team to beat. Cornell McGee was a stud last year until he got hurt. And now we got Cornell McGee back. He's healthy. I think he's a leader. But one major component of Berkner that we are all talking about, Damian Crow, we're going to have to talk about him when we talk about Richardson High School because he moved down the road. So that's going to be a big loss for Berkner. But what I like about Berkner is they got so much of their infrastructure returning. A lot of, Cornell McGee is a big star. Bryce Sprinks is an up-and-coming star. Josiah Shell at running back as a player. But when you look at Berkner and you really look at the recruits and the people, the players that people are talking about, it's linebackers and cornerbacks and offensive linemen. They have such a good infrastructure where I think as a team, they are better than everybody else in the district. Richmond Ugoku is a great linebacker. Kobe Foreman, probably the best player on the team. Dontrell Coleman is a quarterback who in 3 years, I think we're going to be talking about him after Cornell McGee graduates. And Jeremiah Richardson is getting all kinds of buzz. He made big waves in 7-on-7. I think Berkner from top to bottom is the top of this district. But again, they seem to be snake bitten every year with injuries and other issues. So will it fit? I think on paper right now for me, they are your district favorites. But Jesuit is that team that always seems to be there at the end no matter what. They seem to have the consistency. They're drinking that pickle juice war to where they're avoiding the injuries. And they got Charlie Peters coming back
Mm-hmm.
forward, 3,000 yards of offensive production last year, 32 touchdowns. And as we're going to talk about with some of the other players in this district, only 6 interceptions. This is a player who is highly efficient, highly cerebral. He is a leader on this team. And when you got Charlie Peters on your team, how do you bet against Jesuit? And not only that, they got 4 of their skill players coming back. They got Zane Williams, who had 8 touchdowns rushing last year. They got Henry Moret, who had another 4 touchdowns rushing last year. Jager Krause was absolutely incredible when I watched him play at wide receiver. He had 500 yards and 5 touchdowns last year. Jack Yeski, 476 yards receiving and 4 touchdowns. And Ward Jesuit's going to have a great offensive line.
Yep.
So how are you going to shut down this offensive juggernaut in Jesuit? I think defensively, that's where Jesuit has some questions. And defensively is where I look at Berkner as really a team to shine. So I think we're going to have our district championship, Jesuit versus Berkner. And I'm excited about that game. Ward, get a camera out to that game.
Get a camera. I'll be there.
I'm telling you right now, Ward.
I'll be there, or Ted will be there. Somebody will be there because it's close to Ted's house. You know how Ted is. Got to stay close to home. But yeah, Jesuit would probably be the one I would pick as a favorite just because they've kind of mastered that spread offense. And like you said, with a lot of the skill position guys coming back, they're never going to be out of any games. You talked about 5 teams playing for a possible if everything goes right. I know one of them's got to be Pierce because they also have a solid quarterback and a solid spread offense as well with Presley Harper. Talk about Pierce and talk about maybe some of these other Richardson teams that maybe it's not the Richardson teams that you think are going to vie for one of the top spots.
I think it's the Richardson teams. I've got the Irving teams on our bottom tier, but Presley Harper, the Alito transfer from 2 years ago, 2,800 yards last year, 22 touchdowns. I got to watch a Richardson Pierce game last year, and he really impressed me. I think the thing for Richardson Pierce that they kind of fell off at the end of the season last year, that is directly attributable to injuries. Last year, one of my favorite players, and we talked about him on our podcast early in the season, was Andrew Casagrande. He had almost 700 yards in the first 4 games of the year all purpose until he got hurt, and then he was out for the rest of the year. And I think that was a big contributing factor to Richardson Pierce not making it to that next level. But how do you vote against Lake Highlands? I mean, this is a team that's been consistently there the last couple of years, and they got some good players coming back. Aiden Webb, the Oklahoma State commit, as a safety. You got Lloyd Wyatt coming back, and everybody is talking about this new running back that who is unproven. But Christian Rhodes, he's got size, he's got speed, he's been a track guy, he's like 6'1", 210, and runs like incredible speeds. How will that translate to the football field? I think if he is a name that becomes a name that we're going to be talking about year in and year out, that makes Lake Highlands a deadly team, a team that we're not talking about, that it could be a team that we could be talking about. A team I'm very nervous about because I'm going to pick them not to make the playoffs, and I know our friend Marley Merker is going to screenshot this and post this everywhere because Richardson is right there on the precipice of being a playoff team. They've got Cole Cage coming back. He's their quarterback. Last year, though, Ward, I know you talk about it with some of the players. He had 16 touchdowns with 8 interceptions, and I know you don't like those turnover machines when it comes to quarterbacks.
That'll kill you every time.
It will, but if he can overcome that, they've got Damian Crow at wide receiver. They've got Evan Tabora at wide receiver. They've got Hudson Harder at wide receiver. They've got Jaden Pope coming back at running back. They've got, just like Jesuit, they've got all of the triplets coming back and a good quarterback and an explosive wide receiver guy like Damian Crow, who you can see at running back as well. And one of the top recruits that has exploded on the scene is their center, Jasper Ngowir. And what are they going to do when you got that blocking? Because Richardson's problem has been that offensive and defensive line the last couple of years. Now they've got Nazir Freeman and Jasper on both sides of the ball, so you're starting to see that offensive and defensive line get better. Richardson is right there. It could be like Highlands as the odd team out when it comes to this top 5. So it's going to be very fun football to figure out the 4 playoff teams, because 5 teams, I think, legitimately have a great opportunity.
Interesting. Yeah, you're probably right. And that's obviously leaves the Irving teams out. Of the 3 Irving teams, I probably would have MacArthur up there higher than the other 2 because Coach's son's out there, Banner, Nitchlish is out there. But talk about the last 3 Irving teams and who might fight out to finish at the top of the lower tier.
Yeah, it's been tough for the Irving schools. They've gotten about as good of a district realignment as they could get. Instead of being with HEB or Grand Prairie schools, they've been with the Richardson schools, but they've just been, just on the outside looking in. Carrington Beck is coming back. You talked about Banner Nicholas, the coach's son at wide receiver. He had almost 500 yards last year. I think he's going to be a big, first team all district kind of a player this year. Nimitz, they've got Caleb Yarborough coming back, a couple of running backs coming back, and Javon Wolf and Darian Contreras. Irving is a team that's got 2 freshmen that we need to keep an eye on. Napoleon Proctor and Trey Lewis were both freshmen last year. They're going to be sophomores this year. If they can develop a little bit of infrastructure around those 2 players, I could see Irving being a team that starts to slowly work their way up, maybe past Nimitz, maybe get close to MacArthur. And once you get to that 6th spot, 5 is not too far away, and that gives you a chance to make the playoffs. Irving is a team I think has the best opportunity to break out this year of these 3 teams because of those freshmen.
Excellent. All right, remind the people 1 through 8 for me.
I've got our friends at Richardson Berkner, number 1. I've got Jesuit, number 2. I've got Lake Highlands, number 3. Richardson Pierce, 4. Just on the outside looking in, Richardson at number 5. And again, folks, these are very close, especially 3 to 5. I think you could flop 3 to 5. There's, talk about tiers. 1 and 2 are in a tier. 3, 4, and 5 are in a different tier. I think you can see movement among those 3 teams. Number 6, I've got Irving MacArthur. Number 7, Irving Nimitz. And number 8, the Irving Tigers.
All right, Diggsy. Well, next week we'll talk their playoff counterpart in 8-6A and see what's going on with the Arlington schools. Thanks for joining us, big guy.
Can't wait. And then we're going to have to also talk about why Haltom is in that group.
Yeah, exactly.
Deep thoughts next week.
All right, buddy. We'll see you next week.